The text from my mother arrived 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. This year's dinner is family and accomplished guests only. We think it's best if you sit this one out. No hard feelings. I stared at my phone in my Los Angeles apartment, reading it twice to make sure I understood. My family was uninviting me from Thanksgiving because I wasn't successful enough to be seen at their table. My sister Claire called an hour later to explain. Look, Jordan, don't take it personally. Mom and Dad are inviting some really important people this year. Dad's new business partners, Claire's law firm colleagues, my husband's entire family. They're all high achievers. Doctors, lawyers, executives. We need to present a certain image. An image that doesn't include me. You're a waitress, Jordan. You've been pursuing acting for 8 years with nothing to show for it. Mom doesn't want to spend Thanksgiving explaining why her 30-year-old daughter still serves tables and goes to auditions that go nowhere. It's embarrassing. I see. We're just trying to protect you from feeling inadequate around all these successful people. You understand, right? Maybe next year when you've figured things out. After she hung up, I sat in my small apartment and looked at the script on my coffee table. The script that had changed everything 3 months ago, though my family didn't know it yet. They'd stopped asking about my career 2 years ago when it became clear I wasn't going to give up and get a real job, like they wanted. What they didn't know was that I'd landed a role. Not just any role. The lead in Marcus Chen's new prestige drama, the film every A-list actor in Hollywood had fought for. Marcus Chen, the director whose last 3 films had won Oscars, whose projects defined careers, whose approval could make an unknown actor into a household name overnight. I'd auditioned on a whim, never expecting to get past the first round. But something clicked. Marcus said I had raw authenticity that trained actors often lost. He'd cast me over actresses with decades of experience and mantles full of awards. We'd been filming for 2 months under strict NDAs. The project was top secret. Marcus's films always were until he was ready to reveal them. My family had no idea. When they asked what I was up to, I said, the usual auditioning and waiting tables. They'd stopped listening after that anyway. The film wrapped last week. Marcus was so pleased with my performance that he'd invited me to a private Thanksgiving dinner he hosted every year for his cast and crew, an intimate gathering that Hollywood insiders would kill to attend. I'd planned to skip it and spend Thanksgiving with my family. But reading Mom's text, seeing Claire's number on my caller ID delivering the news that I wasn't accomplished enough for their table, I made a different decision. I texted Marcus, I'd love to come to Thanksgiving dinner. Thank you for the invitation. His response was immediate, fantastic. Bring anyone you'd like. The more the merrier. I smiled and put my phone away. My family wanted an exclusive Thanksgiving with accomplished guests. They were about to get exactly what they asked for. Thanksgiving morning, I posted a photo on Instagram, just me in casual clothes with a simple caption. Grateful for new beginnings. Nothing that would tip off my family, who followed me out of obligation but never engaged with my posts. My mother's text came at noon. Hope you're having a nice day. We're hosting 16 accomplished guests. Such a successful group. I didn't respond. Marcus's Thanksgiving dinner was at his Malibu estate, a stunning property overlooking the Pacific. When I arrived, I was greeted by faces I recognized from movie screens, A-list actors, acclaimed directors, Oscar-winning writers. This was Hollywood royalty, and I was sitting among them as an equal as Marcus's lead actress. Jordan. Marcus embraced me warmly. Come meet everyone. They're dying to talk about your performance. For 3 hours, I sat at a table with people whose work I'd admired for years, discussing craft and storytelling and the film we'd created together. No one asked what my backup plan was. No one suggested I get a real job. They treated me like what I was, a professional actress who delivered an extraordinary performance. At 4 p.m. my phone buzzed. A text from Claire. Mom's business partner brought his son. Turns out he's obsessed with Marcus Chen films. Won't stop talking about how Chen's new project is the most anticipated film of the year. Do you know anything about it? I smiled and texted back, I might know a little bit about it. 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared. Then appeared again. Finally, what does that mean? I'm actually at Marcus's house right now. Having Thanksgiving dinner with the cast. My phone exploded. Claire called twice. Mom called 4 times. Dad sent 3 texts in rapid succession. I silenced my phone and returned to dinner, where Marcus was telling a story that had the entire table laughing. At 6 p.m., Marcus stood to make a toast. I'm grateful for all of you. For your talent, your dedication, your trust in my vision. And I'm especially grateful for Jordan, who took a role that terrified every established actress in town and made it unforgettable. This film is going to change everything. Everyone raised their glasses. Jennifer Lawrence, sitting next to me, leaned over and said, "He's right, you know. I saw the rough cut. You're going to be a star." My phone was vibrating continuously in my purse. I ignored it. After dinner, I finally checked my messages. 23 texts, 14 missed calls, 6 voicemails. All from my family. All sent after Claire had apparently done some frantic Googling and found the trade announcements about Marcus's new film, the cryptic casting news that mentioned an unknown actress in a star-making role. Claire's texts were panicked. "Jordan, are you the Jordan Reeves in Marcus Chen's new film? The lead role? Why didn't you tell us? Mom is freaking out. Call me immediately." Mom's voicemails progressed from confused to desperate. "Jordan, sweetie, Claire says you're in a Marcus Chen film? That can't be right. Can it? Call me back. We need to talk about Thanksgiving. Maybe we were too hasty." Dad's texts were businesslike but increasingly frantic. "Jordan, my business partner's son works in film distribution. He says Marcus Chen's lead actress is going to be the biggest thing in Hollywood. Is that you? We need to discuss this." I turned off my phone and returned to the party, where someone had started playing music and people were dancing on the terrace under string lights. This was where I belonged. Not at a table where I had to prove my worth, but among people who already saw it. The news broke on Monday. Variety ran the headline, "Marcus Chen's mystery lead revealed. Unknown actress Jordan Reeves stuns in the distance between." The article included quotes from test screenings, early Oscar buzz, comparisons to breakout performances that had launched legendary careers. By Tuesday, my phone had 400 new Instagram followers. By Wednesday, my agent, who I'd had for 6 years of failed auditions, called crying with joy about the offers flooding in. By Thursday, my family showed up at my apartment. All of them. Mom, Dad, Claire, and my brother Marcus. They stood in my doorway looking sheepish and desperate. "Jordan," Mom started, "we made a terrible mistake. We didn't know." "You didn't ask," I interrupted. "When's the last time any of you asked about my career? Actually asked, not just waited for me to confirm I was still failing so you could feel superior." "That's not fair," Claire protested. "You were waitressing. I was supporting myself while pursuing my dream, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. But you were so embarrassed by me that you uninvited me from Thanksgiving because I wasn't accomplished enough for your exclusive dinner party." Dad stepped forward. "We were wrong. We should have supported you. We should have believed in you. You should have included me regardless of whether I was successful. I'm your daughter. I'm Claire's sister. That should have been enough." "Can we come in?" Mom asked. "Can we talk about this?" "Why? So you can tell me you're proud now that other people validated me? So you can be seen with me now that I'm going to be famous?" I shook my head. "You had 8 years to be proud of me for working hard, for not giving up, for pursuing something I loved. You chose to be embarrassed instead." "Jordan, please," Claire said. "We want to make this right. You can't. You excluded me from Thanksgiving because I was a waitress. Now I'm going to be on magazine covers and red carpets, and suddenly I'm worthy of your table? That's not how family works." Marcus Jr., my brother, spoke for the first time. "The business partner's son, the one at Thanksgiving, he asked about you. Asked if we were related to Jordan Reeves from Marcus Chen's film. Dad said he didn't know who that was. Said his daughter was still figuring things out." The silence was devastating. "You didn't even know enough about my life to recognize my name when someone mentioned it," I said quietly. "That's how little attention you've paid." "We're sorry," Mom whispered. "Sorry isn't enough. You made it clear that your love and inclusion were conditional on my success. Well, I'm successful now, but I don't need your inclusion anymore." My agent's call interrupted us. A magazine wanted me for their cover, a studio wanted me for a franchise, Marcus Chen wanted to discuss his next project. My family stood in my doorway watching my phone light up with opportunities, finally seeing what they'd dismissed for 8 years. "I have to take this," I said. "You should go." "Jordan," Dad started. "You wanted an exclusive Thanksgiving with accomplished guests. You got it. You just weren't there. And you won't be next year either." Or the year after that. I looked at each of them. I'll send you tickets to the premiere. You can see what you missed while you were too embarrassed to include me at your table. I closed the door. The film premiered 3 months later to standing ovations. The reviews called my performance revelatory, heartbreaking, the kind of debut that redefines what's possible. Oscar buzz started immediately. My family attended the premiere in a block of seats I'd arranged, in the back row far from the press line, where they couldn't be photographed with me or claim association with my success. During my speech at the afterparty, I thanked Marcus, my agent, my acting coach, and the restaurant where I'd waitressed for 8 years while pursuing my dream. To everyone who supported me when I had nothing to show for it but hope and determination, thank you for seeing me. I didn't mention my family. They sat at their table watching from a distance, finally understanding what they'd lost. They'd wanted an exclusive Thanksgiving with successful people. They'd excluded the one person who was about to become more successful than any of them. Some tables don't deserve you at them. Some families don't earn the right to celebrate your success. Mine chose exclusivity over inclusion. Now they were excluded from the success they'd refused to support. The irony wasn't lost on anyone, least of all them.